Hi everybody, it's Pastor Brian today. I'm not at a church recording today's youth devotion. This is my childhood home in Frackville, right here. It's a half a double. I'm gonna actually turn it around here. I'm gonna flip the camera around if it will let me. It doesn't seem to let me actually. So okay, well, take a walk with me here. So this house is about 2 blocks down from the Little League field, which was a pretty big hub of activity when I was a kid. Of course, there were Little League games, but also softball games, and parades would sometimes start from there. I remember being a part of the Boy Scouts, and every Memorial Day we would have a parade that would end at the Little League field just 2 blocks up there. So this is a half a double house. It's still in the family. I don't live there. I haven't lived here since 2006 or so 14 years. And even before then, I was in college and seminary and didn't spend a lot of time living here, you know. So here, this is the house. I'm here today because I want to talk about the concept of home. This porch was my sanctuary when I was a kid. This porch and here, this is I remember all the neighborhood kids coming up here. It's weird to not see furniture on it, but I guess you know, that's just the way it is. I remember there being a swinging couch, you know, an outdoor porch sofa right there, and there was this chair here and a chair there in the corner. I remember my mom would sit here, right here, and smoke. Kids, if you're watching this, it's important. I really think it's an important thing to have some semblance of home. And some semblance of a home that kind of sticks with you. And it's really important for me that I remember this place, even though I don't live here anymore. It's still in the family, like I said before, but I don't live here. Maybe someday I will again. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think Michelle wants to, but it's one of the things. This porch, this lot, let me show you this lot. So there's a big lot in front of my childhood home, and this lot right here, well, there used to be 2 massive trees. A massive tree over there and a massive tree over there. You can still see remnants of stumps. So here's how this worked. For kids in the community, we would gather here at this lot. And that big metal sheet you see there, that wasn't there. That was not there. What was there was a big pile of dirt that was a filled-in water well. This is a lot owned by the water company. And that was a pitcher's mound. That well was the pitcher's mound. So right at the base then of the hill was home plate, and then that tree that you can see the stump by the stop sign, that was third base. And then this tree over here, which is kind of relatively near that chimney, that was first base. And then there was, in the far area there, where you can see the pavement, there was one section of pavement that kind of was like a square. That was second base. So we used to have wiffle ball games here. We used to have kickball games. Yes, even in the grass, we would play kickball. And this is just a place that to me represents comfort. So, in this time, I know a lot of you kids are probably going stir crazy. I'm telling you, celebrate the concept of home. And in Scripture, this is really important to note, because here's the thing about Jesus in Scripture. Jesus did a lot of things. Most importantly, dying on the cross. Most importantly, giving himself up for all of humankind. But Jesus never really forgot where he came from. He had a concept of home. We understand that Jesus was known as Jesus of Nazareth, which was in Galilee, and a lot of Jesus' earthly ministry takes place in Galilee. Like, he did a lot of the things that he did in Galilee, but he didn't stay there. He didn't stay there. He went to other lands that were not Israelite lands. He went to other places around, you know, kind of northwest of where he lived. And some of those places were kind of seen as places where Gentile people lived. And Gentile people were different than the Jewish people. Gentile people were people who were not Jewish, who didn't observe the same Jewish rituals that Jesus would have known as a child. Jesus went to those places and spent time with those people. So he didn't stay home. He didn't just stay home, but he kind of kept it with him. Interestingly enough, when Jesus was on the cross, one of the people who was there on the cross with Jesus was his mother, was Mary. She was there. And one of the last things Jesus does while he's there on the cross is he says to one of the disciples, "This is your mother." And he says to Mary, "This is your son," as a way of saying that we believe Jesus was saying, take care of her. Take care of this lady. I'm going to die. And she gave birth to me, and she loved me through all of these 33 years, roughly 33 years. Take care of her. He never forgot where he came from. So I think this is important, everybody. I think having some concept of home, not an idea of home where like we have to stay there forever, but certainly an idea of this is where I came from, and this is what formed me, and this is what God gave me. This house, I'm standing on this porch. A lot of people would look at this house and say, oh, there's not much to it. It's a half a double, right? There's 3 rooms on the first floor. There's the dining room there, living room here. Sorry, living room, dining room, kitchen. Then upstairs, there's a front bedroom, a side bedroom, and a back bedroom, and a bathroom. Then at the top, there's an attic that was where my mom actually, that was her bedroom and my aunt's bedroom. They had each half of the attic when they were growing up. It's important to have that sense of home. But also, it's important to stretch that sense of home too. And Jesus certainly did that. Because he didn't do what everybody expected your typical man in the first century to do. You know, most men were expected to have a lot of kids and follow in the family trade. And Jesus didn't do any of that. But he still had a sense of home. He kept it with him. So all of you kids who are out there, and I know this might be a little bit of a heady topic for a children's devotion. Some of you are really young, and you're in, you know, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. Some of you might be teenagers. I want you all to understand that where you come from is an important part of your story. And then where you go after that, that's a very important part of your story too. When Jesus went from place to place, he carried the love of God with him everywhere. And you can do that too. Alrighty, it's a little bit of a short children's devotion, but just want to share this with you. Every time I drop Timmy off to be watched by my aunt, she lives across town in Frackville, I always just kind of drive by here and just remember some things. This is just a kind of a sanctuary for me. You can see back here, I just want to show you this. This is a garage here behind the house. It's a huge garage, and the reason that huge garage is there is because my uncle Randy used to repair cars there. There's 2 bays there for 2 cars, and he used to repair cars there for a long, long time. And we have this porch here too. You can see that was relatively new. And I can remember, again, back there used to be a tree stump there. And I don't think I ever remember the big tree, but I remember when I was a child, on Easter Sunday, before we went to church, my mom would always put out Easter eggs all throughout the yard, and a basket would always be like kind of the ending of the Easter egg hunt, and the basket was always back there on that stump. So don't forget where you came from, kids, but don't let that control you either. And carry that love of God wherever you go. This is Pastor Brian. I'll see you next week. Thank you.